All right, so coming to a nice comfortable seat. Let's scoot forward in the chair a little bit today so you're really feeling your sit bones. As you press down into your sit bones, you start to lengthen through the sides of your waist. So nice tall seat to begin. If you do have blocks and you want to use those, feel free. So you might place one between your feet and one kind of in your thighs. So like not necessary, but sometimes it is nice to just get a little feedback. And then before we sit quietly here, let's roll our shoulders back a few times. And let's roll forward. Good, rolling back. And then really press those shoulder heads back. Feel the shoulder blades release down your back and gently squeeze in towards each other. Hold on to that. So it's giving you a little lift of your sternum. Allow your eyelids to close. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And open your mouth. Sigh the breath out. Let it go. Ha. Again, smooth, full, deep inhale. Pause. Open your mouth. Sigh the breath out. Ha. One more like that. Smooth, deep, full inhale. Little pause. Open your mouth. Sigh the breath out. Let it go. Ha. And then we're going to inhale through our nose. And then us also exhale through our nose. And continuing like that. So finding your Ujjayi breath. With our Ujjayi breath, we're constricting the sides of our throat. So there is a little bit of sound that starts to happen. Ujjayi breath is a heating breath. So it helps to build some warmth inside the body, which can be nice as we move into poses. That being said, some days it feels like a little too much. So if that's the case for you today, you kind of let that go. So there isn't that effort to the breath. And regardless of what kind of breath you are doing, you are bringing your attention to that sound of your breath, whether it sounds a little more like Darth Vader or ocean waves, or if it's just pretty mellow. So our breath is for sure a tool to help us quiet the mind, focus our attention, drop inward. And I'm going to stop talking here for a moment so you can connect with that sound of your breath. And take one more deep inhale here. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. And then gently blink your eyes open. So from here, let's move into some cat-cow. You're welcome to continue to use the blocks if you want. If you wanted to lose one or both, that also works as well. Let's inhale, rock forward on the sit bones. Feel this openness. It's like a cobra pose in the front of the chest and heart. As you exhale, move in the opposite direction. And we round in, especially in the thoracic spine, the cervical spine. Inhaling, arching. And exhaling, rounding in. And you might close your eyes again here. And then just continue to move with your breath at your pace. It might be different than mine. So we're introducing flexion and extension into the spine, going back and forth. We're introducing a little vinyasa. Vinyasa is to place in a special way. So it's connecting movement with breath. Can be simple like this cat-cow that we're doing, or it might be a little more complex, like sun salutes. Soaking up that sound, that rhythm of your breath. A few more rounds. Good. So let's just start to move this into some pelvic girdle circle, some little Sufi rolls here. Just pick a direction that feels good and choose small circles, big circles. And you can dip the shoulders, the head. So really make this your own. Kind of just see what your body is craving here. Paying attention to like your lower back, hip area. How's all of that feeling as you move like this? And then let's just start to switch directions here. Good. You can start to make those circles a little bit smaller. So you're coming back to a nice tall seat, your mountain pose, Tadasana. Let's just move into some neck stretching here. So as you exhale, you're going to just drop your chin towards your chest. Might be the tiniest amount. First one of the day always feels rather intense. You might notice that the back of the neck is gripping, and as such, the shoulders might be creeping up towards your ears, trying to help out. Soften them down. Just imagine that I'm there in your room, just gently pressing down on your shoulders. You keep that breath smooth and steady. You might visualize the exhale, going to the back of your neck, creating a little space, kind of opening things up. Let's inhale, lift the chin. And then exhale, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And again, that right shoulder might want to help out. You should be feeling sensation on the left side of your neck, those scalene muscles. Some days it can be quite intense. Again, just keep that breath moving. If you feel like you'd like a little more, maybe you release your left fingertips off that left thigh. And then perhaps you start to lift that left arm if you took that variation, and that's going to get into some interesting places. Keep that breath smooth and steady, particularly if it's really intense. And actually today, let's go ahead and release this right hand down. Spin your left palm to face up, and then inhale, take that arm right up and over. So just kind of combining a side stretch here as well. So it's going to take some of the neck out of the work as you do that, or some of the work out of the neck. I can talk. And then maybe you start to bring your gaze up. So you're kind of gazing towards that inner arm. Keep both shoulder blades releasing down. Couple more good breaths here. Nice, deep inhale. Full, complete exhale. And then inhale, upright yourself. Release that left arm down. Good. And then let's just drop our chin towards our chest again. So it's almost like you're trying to, as your chin drops towards your chest, you're also popping your sternum up towards your chin. So there is a little bit of that feeling of cobra pose in our upper body, those shoulder blades squeezing in towards each other. And maybe this second round here is already feeling a little easier, maybe not. We're going to inhale, lift our chin again. And then exhale, drop that left ear towards your left shoulder. So you start to feel that stretch on the right side of your neck, top of the shoulder, maybe even like the scapula. How does this side feel different in your body? And just observing if your shoulders are trying to help out, just softening them down. Breath is smooth and steady. The breath is really the kind of just threads all of the poses together. You might take your right fingertips and release them. So you're just giving the addition of gravity to help create a little more stretch. And then if you'd like, maybe you start to lift that right arm any amount. And then from here, let's go ahead and release our left fingertips to the floor. Spin your right palm up to face the ceiling, and then inhale. Take that arm up and over, and you're going to notice that it does take a little of that work out of the neck. Maybe you start to turn to bring your gaze up. Can you keep anchoring into your right sit bone? Can you keep that breath moving? Good, nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, release that right arm down, come back to center. One more time, drop your chin towards your chest. And keep those shoulder blades squeezing in towards each other. Feel that sternum reaching up towards the ceiling. And then lift the chin here. As you inhale, scrunch your shoulders up towards your ears. And even like create a little tension in your face and jaw. And then an audible exhale through the mouth. Ha, soften it down. A couple more like that. So inhale, scrunch everything up. it's like you're creating tension to find that freedom of release as you exhale. Ha. Couple more. Squeezing shoulders up towards your ears. And ha. One more. And ha. So if you're still using blocks, you can go ahead and get rid of those at this point if you would like. Let's just revisit that side lateral stretching, but we're going to do it with the breath here. So releasing your arms down by your sides, rooting into your sit bones. As you root into your sit bones, you're finding all of that length through the sides of your waist, through your spine. Hold on to that even as we start to flow a little bit side to side here. So inhale, left arm comes up and over. Exhale, release back to center. And inhale, right arm up and over. And exhale, release. Inhale. Good, exhale. So just continue like this. And you're moving at a pace today that feels good for you. Some days it feels nice to move a little faster. That's particularly helpful if you're feeling a little lethargic, a little tired. You need a little boost of energy. Conversely, if you're feeling a little anxious, like there's just too many things to get done, there's a lot on your plate, maybe stretch the breath out, slow it down. See how that makes you feel. And again, here we are visiting this idea of vinyasa, flowing, connecting the movement with the breath. It almost takes on this meditative quality. This, for most of us, for many of us, can have this very calming quality. Sometimes it's a little easier to move with the breath than it is to just sit static in a pose with the breath. Let's do a couple more to each side. Good. When you finished on leaning off to that left side, just come back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Find a nice, comfortable seat. Do a little mini check-in. You might even close your eyes here. Just notice how you're feeling. Notice what your breath is like, the quality of your breath. Slow it down, even it out if you need to. Good, and then you can blink your eyes open here. Good, just see how you're feeling. And then let's come into a little hip stretching. All right, so a couple of options here as always. You can take your right ankle above your left knee, if that is available to you. If that's not happening for any reason, or if that's just feeling a little too intense today in the hip, you could also find kind of this warrior two leg. So opening up this right hip any amount. And do try to land with your knee over your ankle, or even ankle slightly ahead of your knee. You can take your right hand, gently press back. So using the strength of your arm, that's going to intensify the stretching. Particularly in this version that I'm doing, you also, in addition to getting the hip stretch, you're going to also feel a little inseam of the leg, groin stretch is going to happen as well. They're both really good places to be if you're in this version. So our seated pigeon, you might be pressing down with your hand. Now, that being said, you might not need to be doing that, especially if you're already feeling a pretty intense stretch. And then just taking several breaths here. So giving this a nice long hold, just kind of trying to get into the hips, open them up a bit. And the other thing I'll mention here is that you don't want any pain in your knee joint. So flexing this right foot helps to engage this band of muscles, and that's going to protect the knee. So one final little piece here. If you wanted to take a little forward fold here, you're welcome to do so. So that's going to intensify the stretch. You can always try it out and decide not to do it. But if you're in this version that I'm doing here, hands might come to your shin. Can you think a little cobra pose in your upper body so you're not completely rounding in? This is also a really great place to use a table in front of you, or if you have those blocks, taking your hands on blocks can feel really nice. If you are in the Warrior 2 version, again, hands might simply be on your thighs. Again, you could also use blocks. It's a little easier to forward fold in this version, so you might even have fingertips on the floor. If you're doing these Warrior 2 legs, can you think about pressing that right knee back behind you? That's going to help you to open that hip up a little more. Check in with your breath. Keep that inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose. All right, so as you inhale, maybe you take your hands to your thighs to help you press up. Okay, so sitting nice and tall here, let's inhale, take the arms out wide. And then we're gonna exhale, twist to the right. As you exhale, release hands down. So depending upon the shape that you're in, your hand's gonna land in a lot of different places. Just listen to your body. Notice what feels good. Mostly we're looking for a little leverage here to help us press our shoulder heads back. So we're finding that sense of cobra pose in our upper body. It's really amazing how many similarities there are in all of the poses. There's a lot of actions that we repeat over and over again. Feeling those shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other. Giving the spine a nice little ring out, giving the organs a little ring out here. You might be moving towards bringing your gaze out over that right shoulder. Good, one more deep inhale. As you exhale, untwist your upper body. All right, so if you do have your leg like mine currently, you're gonna stay here in this position. If you are in your seated pigeon, you're gonna go ahead and come out and then open up that right leg. So we are gonna just visit little Warrior 2. In regards to this left leg, you can keep it exactly where it's at. And of course, you could also keep the right knee where it's at too. You know, you can always modify these poses. You might extend your left leg to straight if that is in your wheelhouse. You might even open that left leg, take it off to the left, but you will be rolling to the inner edge of that foot. So we're getting the hip opener in this front leg, but this back leg, this left leg is neutral. You're gonna square your torso to face towards your camera. So there's all these like opposite little actions happening, right? Knee presses back, left hip releases down. Little twists in the torso. Good, inhale, take the arms out wide. Notice if the shoulders are creeping up towards your ears, soften them down. And it feels counterintuitive, but from muscle to bone in your arms and your legs. So sometimes working a little more actually makes it feel a little easier. You're going to keep your torso exactly like this. Nothing changes, but you start to bring your gaze out over your right fingertips. Virabhadrasana 2. Breath smooth and steady. That inhale through your nose. That exhale through your nose. Let's flip the right palm to face up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, we find that side stretch again, so you can release your left fingertips down. They could rest on your leg. Right arm comes up and over. Press that right knee back as you wrap those left ribs up towards the ceiling. You might be looking up underneath your top arm. Beautiful pose. From here, let's inhale, use your core to help bring you back upright into your Virabhadrasana 2. And then exhale, a little hinge at that right hip crease. And then you can bring your right forearm towards your thigh. You can even kind of use the strength of your arm to drag that knee back. Shoulder blades stacking on top of each other to begin with. And then maybe take that top arm up and over. So coming into the full expression of Utthita Parshva extended side angle pose. Couple more good breaths. Stay with it. And you find a little more length on that right side. You're kind of trying to make it even with the left side, like you're a parallelogram. Good. We're going to inhale back into our Virabhadrasana 2. Such nice work. As you exhale, release your arms down by your sides. And then we're going to make our way back to our Tadasana, our mountain pose. So you can kind of bring the legs back to home base here. Come back to our Tadasana. Just find a little refresh there. And we're going to move into our second side doing that hip opener, which could be entirely different than the second side. So you're just going to make any adjustments that you need to. So again, options here are to cross your left ankle above your right knee. And then you can take your hand, assuming you need a little more work, if you're a little more open in your hips, you could gently press down with that left hand. So it's like you're trying to release your left knee down towards the floor. You might not need to do that. And the other thing that you might do too, if that seated pigeon version isn't working for you, is to simply open up that left leg any amount. So you're getting external rotation at that hip socket. And here too, you are welcome to use your hand to help you press that knee back. And we've got a few moments here. So you're breathing smooth and steady. You're inhaling through your nose. You're exhaling through your nose. You might be getting curious about how this side feels different in your body. How is it different than the right side? Especially in these hip stretches, we usually have one side that feels a little easier, one that's a little crankier. Couple more good breaths before we move into our forward fold. Okay, so as you move in towards your forward fold, try to keep your spine long. Hands can come to your thighs. And again, maybe if you're in that reclining pigeon or seated pigeon rather, your hands are coming to your shins. Blocks are really nice here. They also help us to keep that sense of lift in the upper body, the thoracic. You need not go very deep. So of course, this does intensify the hip stretch. Return to that rhythm of your breath, that inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose. As we inhale, we're going to use our hands to help us press on up. So that nice tall seat, and then we come into our twist. So as you inhale, take the arms out wide. And then exhale, we twist to the left, really extend out, and then just release your hands down. And again, depending upon what variation of the pose you're doing, where your hands fall is going to be a little different for all of us. We all are going to have that left hand grabbing a piece of chair. Think shoulder heads back, think sternum lifting. So it's that sense of cobra in the upper back, even though we are twisting the spine. You might be moving towards bringing your gaze out over your left shoulder, any amount. All right, so one more deep inhale. As you exhale, untwist here. So if you're doing the variation that I'm doing right now, these warrior two legs, you're gonna stay here. If you are in your seated pigeon pose, you're gonna join us here. You might take that right leg, extend it forward. You might kind of open it up. So kind of more of a classic version of this pose. But that being said, they all count. They're all basically doing the same thing. If you do have this right leg extended off to the side, you are rolling to the inner edge of your foot. So again, hip opener in this left leg, but this back leg, this right leg is neutral. And then just notice if your torso is spinning to face that left leg, go ahead and bring your torso to face towards your camera. And then we're going to inhale, lift the arm. So Virabhadrasana 2, firming muscle to bone. So actually working a little more to help the pose to feel a little easier. Crazy though that sounds. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then exhale, just bring your gaze out over your left fingertips. So you're just keeping it soft and gentle. All right, so you can bring your gaze forward, flip your left palm up towards the ceiling. And then as you inhale, side bend to the right. So releasing that right arm down, it could come to your thigh, your leg. That left arm comes up and over. So our reverse warrior pose, this really lovely pose, getting some side stretch, we're getting the hip work. These poses, these warrior poses often help us to feel really strong, grounded. You might be looking up. You might really be reaching through those left fingertips. As you inhale, upright yourself. Good, and then from here, we're gonna hinge forward at that left hip crease. Left forearm comes to that left thigh, and you can kind of use the strength of your arm to open up that left hip a little more. Shoulder blades are stacking on top of each ear, and then you can spin your right palm to the left and then reach that arm up and over. So you've got this long line of energy on this right side. These look fantastic. Keep that breath moving, that inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose. Maybe Bringing your gaze up if it feels okay in your neck to do so. Good. Let's inhale. Use a little core strength to help you upright yourself. Virabhadrasana 2. Beautiful. And then you're going to exhale. Release your arms down. So just walk that right leg back in. And then you can bring the left leg back in as well. So we find our Tadasana, our mountain pose. So sitting nice and tall. Before we move into some work with our downward dogs and some twisting with the chair, let's just do a few sun salutes. It's always nice to just connect poses together, to move a little bit, to flow. And Tammy's got that big, beautiful space, so we need her to christen it. So finding your mountain pose, arms by your sides. As you inhale, reach out and up, or you could reach forward and up if that feels better in your body. Maybe gaze up as palms press. And then as you exhale, a couple of options. You could swan dive in if that feels stable and safe. You can always use your hands at any point to help you roll on down. Think chin towards chest here. Inhale here. You might use your blocks again, so palms press into the blocks or shins or thighs. Chest extends forward. You lengthen through the sides of your waist. As we exhale, we fold back in. And then inhale, you can do that reverse swan dive out, or perhaps you use your hands to help you roll on up. Reach up, gaze up, maybe press palms. And then as you exhale, you find your Tadasana, mountain pose, Namasthiti, even standing. One more together like that, and then we'll do a couple on our own. Inhaling, take up space. Utthita Hastasana into Dasana, just enjoying this flowy feeling. Exhale into your Uttanasana. Inhale into your Ardha Uttanasana, so your half forward fold. Beautiful work here. As you exhale, we fold back in. Inhaling, root down to rise up. Take up space. And then as you exhale, return to your Tadasana mountain pose. So 2 more on your own if you so desire. Moving with your breath at your pace. If you've had enough of these sun salutes, you could always move into cat-cow or those Sufi rolls. You could take a forward fold and just hang out there. So your pace, you're finding the speed that feels right for you today, right now, in this moment. And you're just pausing for a moment when you come back to your Tadasana, palms together at your heart, close your eyes, do a little check-in, notice how you're feeling. You might feel as though you're sitting a little taller with a little more space and ease. Your breath might be moving a little quicker. You might feel some sense of heat in your body. You might feel a little sense of joy. You all know I'm a huge fan of these sun salutes. They're like the best medicine. And from here, blink your eyes open, and we're going to move into some of our downward dogs here. So you can use an extra chair if you have one. You could use a desk or a wall in front of you. So just something that will give you a little feedback. I'm going to adjust my setup here. Grab my second chair. If you're using a chair, it doesn't really matter if the seat is facing towards you or the seat of the chair, or the back of the chair rather. I kind of like the back of the chair. This way I have two levels that I can work with, but again, doesn't matter. The one piece that you will want to make sure of is that the chair is not going to get away from you. And usually we have to adjust our first one too, but first and foremost, come to a nice, comfortable seat, Tadasana. Again, we're landing with our knees over our ankles here. So we root into our sit bones. Let's inhale, take the arms out and up. So spine is nice and long. Spin your palms to face forward. And then anchor into those sit bones and think like, it's almost like you're telegraphing your upper body forward. And then you're going to land your hands either on the back of your chair. They could be pressing into a wall in front of you, a table in front of you. You're lowering your head so that your ears are between your biceps. Trying to widen across the backs of your shoulders. And to help you find that, you might think forearms squeezing in towards each other, and then inner arm wrapping towards outer arm. Your outer arm is wrapping down towards the floor. And you're probably gazing between your feet here. Couple more breaths. Let's inhale, lift our head. So we're just gazing between our hands. You're going to take your right hand to your thigh, then your left hand to your thigh. Use the strength of your arms to press upright. Nice work. And then let's find just a simple little downward dog twist here. So again, releasing your arms by your sides, rooting into your sit bones. Think spaciousness here as you reach out and up. Spin your palms to face forward. Spread your fingers a little bit. Hold on to that feeling as you start to hinge forward. It's a little core work. Again, placing your hands down. And then let's keep gazing forward between our fingertips here. I want you to walk your right hand off to the left a little bit. Bring your left hand to your left hip. And then start to spin your right ribs to the left. You're drawing that left shoulder head back. And then maybe you extend that left arm to straight. Breath smooth and steady. Nice deep inhale here. Good. And then as you exhale, start to unwind your torso. Find your downward dog. Couple of breaths, ears between your biceps. And then just lift your gaze again. Walk your left hand to the right, so it's kind of lining up with your nose. Right hand is going to come to your hip. Squeeze that elbow into the midline. And then as you exhale, start to wrap your left ribs to the right. Thinking length, really pressing down into that left palm. Stay here like this, or maybe reach those right fingertips back. You're still leaning that right shoulder head back. Even in this twist, and kind of this twisted down dog, your shoulder blades are squeezing in towards each other. Deep inhale. As you exhale, unwind. Final little down dog here. Take a couple of breaths. See how long you can get through the sides of your waist. And then just lift your gaze again. So you're gazing between your hands. Left hand comes to thigh, then right hand to thigh. Use your hands to help press you up. Really nice. So before we move into our Shavasana, let's do a little of our alternate nostril breathing here. So just do some finger pops, and then you can circle out the wrist, just making little circles. All right. So finding a nice comfortable seat, first and foremost, rooting down into your sit bones, lengthening through the sides of your waist. We're going to take our right hand. We're going to be blocking our nostrils. So, I'm not too picky about how you do this. It could be any combination of fingers. If you wanted to do more of the classic mudra, you're bending your second and third finger in, which can just feel really awkward for sometimes, some days for some of us. So not necessary. Find the bony part of your nose and then lower to where that soft part is. That's where you're going to be pressing, and it's really soft. And then just be mindful that this right elbow likes to lift up during the course of this. So we're just going to try to keep it releasing down. Close your eyes here. Take a nice deep inhale through both nostrils. Full complete exhale through both. Let's block right, inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. And block right, exhale left. Release your right hand down. Inhale through both nostrils. And then exhale through both nostrils. And then moving towards some form of your Shavasana, so your final resting pose. You might stay exactly as you are. You're just changing the feeling tone a little bit here. So we're letting go of this idea of having to do anything. You're letting your brain get really quiet. You're allowing for the opportunity for it to absorb the work that we've done. You're always welcome to take a forward fold here. So again, just resting your forehead on a table in front of you or a chair in front of you. You're welcome to come to classic Shavasana, laying down on the floor if that's available. The important piece is to just allow your breath to do its own natural thing, to give yourself permission not to worry about all of the things that you need to get done this evening or the rest of the week ahead. So we're creating this bookend at the end of our practice. We're soaking up these final moments of stillness, Shavasana. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. And let your next inhale be a little deeper. And you can open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go ha. And then just bring some gentle movement back to your body. Any kind of stretching here that feels good. And it's bringing your awareness back to your physical shape. And you'll eventually land with your palms in a pile on top of your heart. And send yourself love and gratitude for showing up, for making the effort. Send each other love and gratitude for the support that we offer one another. And just promise yourself you're going to carry this good feeling that you worked so hard to create with you into the rest of the day and week ahead. And finally, just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today, ladies. Thank you so much. Thanks for being patient with my little technical glitch.